Hey everybody, my name is Paul Angone, and I am the author of 101 Secrets to Your 20s. I'm also the creator of allgrownup.com, and really the focus of my talk is going to be how to find and work and live your dream job. I would say that's probably most of our goals. So I thought, what better place to do that than out in the middle of nowhere. I probably should be sitting in the office, right, with all the, important books stacked behind me of all the things I've read. But as I thought about the metaphor for what it looks like to find your dream job, I think more this is it. Just space and tons of paths. And really the goal of probably all our lives, is to try to figure out what path do I take. In today's age, there's just so much opportunity, so much information. We all have so much potential, but sometimes I think we can be paralyzed by it. We can be overwhelmed by it. Opportunities galore, but what opportunity is right for me? What path do I take? And I remember when I left college, I was so ready to launch into my career. I was so ready to launch into my dream job. I was ready to do all the things that I've been preparing for that whole time. You take one step after another. It's all very linear. You go from middle school to high school, college, grad school. You work a little bit, but you're just taking that next step, because success is up there somewhere. Your dream job is up there somewhere, and I was so ready for it. So when I left college, this is kind of what I was expecting. Cool Google Office, with the amazing title, something I could probably brag to all my friends about. I was ready to step into that, but in reality, this is more what it felt like. A little bit different. And I remember feeling very, very lost. And that's when I became very passionate about trying to figure out, okay, what are the secrets? How do we find our right career? How do we do this right? I wish I could say that I entered right into my dream job right away. But I went through a lot of different experiences that I would call the 20-something rite of passage. And I would say crappy jobs are that. And I've had my fair share of crappy jobs in my 20s. Oh my gosh, probably the worst job I had was working at a call center. If anybody's ever worked at a call center, you know that people don't necessarily call into a call center because they want to tell you what an amazing job your company is doing. No, typically it's because they have life-shattering problems and all of the blame is going right towards you. Lonely call center person. And I remember just feeling so anxious and depressed and just my OCD really just taking over. And not OCD as we typically think about, but what I've coined is kind of the epidemic that's kind of plaguing our generation, obsessive comparison disorder. And I just started going on Facebook and Twitter and all these things, and you just have the opportunity to compare yourself every second of every day. And I just remember feeling miserable because I was like, when am I going to experience the success like I was supposed to? When am I going to have my dream job like I was supposed to? And it took me a long time to realize that life will never feel like it's supposed to. Because supposed to is built up on all these unmet expectations, most of them unrealistic. I think a lot of us wanted to step right up into our dream job. We wanted to go right from college or grad school and go right into that place where we're just doing our life's work. But it took me all of my 20s to realize really I had it all wrong. Instead of focusing on trying to find the right job all the time or worried about being in the wrong job, I needed to be concerned with my job getting the right me. I need to be concerned about my job getting the right me. And I actually learned this one day while sitting at a Starbucks. It was December, it was in Colorado, and so this place was slammed. I mean, Christmas shoppers everywhere. A standing room only kind of place. But as I'm riding, I kind of noticed something that I've never seen before at a Starbucks. I'm watching this guy, he's making the drinks and he's talking with all these people and they seem to really enjoy the conversation. He's asking all these questions about their lives and their kids and their careers. He knows so much about them. But there's this huge line forming of people waiting to get their drinks. But then I noticed something, that a bunch of the people in the line, they actually have their drinks, but they're still standing there. And I'm like, people leave. You know, there's people everywhere. They're all waiting here, and there's just standing room only, but people are getting their drinks, and they're just standing there. And then the guy that's kind of first in line, he's talking to the Starbucks employee, and then he leaves, and the next person steps up who's holding her drink. She's already gotten her drink. But she starts talking to him. And then it hits me. You know, they're all waiting there to talk to him. You know, they have their drink. They have a million errands to do. They're doing their Christmas shopping thing, but they want to say hi to him. So I'm like, gosh, what's up with this guy? You know, how is he so popular? You know, so the rest of the day, I'm kind of keeping my eye out on him. And I'm overhearing his conversations. And I'm amazed just by how alive he is. You know, I've never seen a Starbucks employee just know so many people. And when he goes out on his break and he's kind of walking around, you know, people are calling him by name and telling him to come over, you know, come sit down, you got to meet my friend. And, you know, he's like the mayor of Starbucks. So I'm amazed. I'm like, I've met the mayor of Starbucks, and I'm wondering, you know, should I call him over? Should I get his autograph? You know, this guy's like the real deal here. You know, but as a writer, I'm starting to think about, you know, what's this guy's story? You know, why is he doing such an amazing job? What's he about? You know, I'm like, well, maybe he was a real estate agent. Maybe he was selling new homes. But when the crash happened, you know, when all the Great Recession happened, he kind of lost it all, and he had to start over. You know, and you know, maybe he's living back with his parents. Yeah, maybe that's it. You know, this guy's like living in the basement of his parents' house, and he's working at Starbucks. Yeah, maybe his car is so bad that it doesn't even have heat. Yeah, he's driving this car to Starbucks in the morning in Colorado in the middle of winter, and it has no heat. And I'm thinking up all these crazy things about this guy, like why, you know, this amazing story about this guy. I'm creating this this amazing kind of movie character, and then I kind of see him limp, and I think to myself, he has one leg. Of course he has one leg. Yeah, I mean, he has one leg, and he's living at his parents' house, and he lost everything. He kind of had to start over, but he's the mayor of Starbucks. So I've kind of created, you know, this unbelievable, way too good to be true Hallmark character. Except, of course, that the mayor of Starbucks is my brother. So everything about his story is, in fact, true. You know, if you've read my book, I tell this story in my book that, that all the details I shared, you know, that he kind of went through the real estate bubble and kind of lost everything and moved back in with our parents, and was working at Starbucks and was driving a really bad car and literally has one leg. He was born without a leg, and so I know it's really tough for him to stand up all day and to be with, you know, on his prosthetic leg. I know it's painful for him. I know it's not easy living back with our parents in the basement. You know, not necessarily everybody's dream. And I know working at Starbucks and getting up at 4 a.m. is pretty tough. And so that day when I'm watching him, I'd actually never sat and watched him work at Starbucks. I was blown away, and I was severely convicted. And I remember talking to him later and saying, you know, how can you do such a good job? You know, everybody loves you. You do such this amazing job. People come to life when they see you. You know, how? How do you do it? You have so many reasons to complain, so many excuses. And I remember very profoundly what he told me. He said, Paul, you know, I made a very early decision that I was going to show up to work, and I was going to be very intentional to do my best every single day. No matter how I felt, no matter how many excuses I had, I was going to bring the best of me to my job. And I almost wish he never told me that. I wish I would have never seen that, because then I wouldn't have felt so convicted about all the times that I show up to work and I do a 50% job. You know, that really finding your dream job is about learning how to do a good job in all the nightmare jobs. You know, you only can get to your dream job if you learn and you grow and you challenge yourself through all the jobs that are not going to be very glamorous. You know, that to really be successful in our 20s is about patient everydayness. It's about showing up every day and doing good work and being consistent. And it's not sexy, and it's not glamorous, and no one's going to write a song about it, and it's not going to be this American Idol moment. But that's truly what preparing ourselves in our 20s is all about. Because our 20s really aren't about enjoying the feast. Our 20s are about setting the table. We all want to find our passion. We all want to be doing our dream job. But do you know the only way that I think we truly find our passion? It's through failure. You know, I think we find our passion when we failed at something, yet we've refused to let it fail. I think your passion is found in failure that you've refused to let fail. Thank you, everybody. This is Angone.